The screen erupts in a shower of brilliant light. A giant letter D pulses in the center, casting a warm glow across the frame. Suddenly, a small puppy trots into the scene, its tail wagging back and forth with rhythmic excitement. It lets out a sharp, cheerful bark, ears perking up as it circles the letter. The ground begins to tremble with a slow, steady rhythm. From the edge of the screen, a massive gray elephant steps into view, its heavy feet pressing deep into the soft grass. It stops beside the puppy, its trunk swaying gently as it surveys the landscape. The puppy tilts its head, mirroring the elephant's calm stance. This is where the journey begins. The air feels charged with curiosity and the promise of discovery. With a soft trumpet from the elephant and another happy yip from the puppy, the stage is set for an alphabet adventure. Every movement is an invitation to look closer and learn more. The world is wide, the colors are bright, and the path ahead is filled with wonder. The adventure is just getting started. The focus drifts from the heavy steps of the elephant to the gentle ripple of a clear, shallow pool. A blue fish darts upward, piercing the surface with a sudden, sharp splash that sends tiny droplets scattering into the air. It dives back down, weaving through colorful coral structures that sway in the current. The scene shifts again, moving from the water to a sun-drenched meadow. A brown goat stands atop a weathered wooden crate, its hooves clicking against the rough planks. It reaches down to grab a bundle of golden hay, pulling the stalks apart with a rhythmic, steady motion. The sound of chewing is crisp and deliberate. The goat pauses, ears twitching, as it scans the wide, open field. Nearby, a red hat drops onto the soft grass, spinning in a tight circle before coming to a complete stop. Everything in this space feels connected, from the movement of the fish to the steady grazing of the goat. It is a world of small, quiet discoveries that invite the eye to linger. Each animal occupies its own corner of this vibrant landscape, living in harmony with the shifting light of the meadow. The journey continues, unfolding one movement at a time. The perspective tilts upward, leaving the meadow behind to embrace the thick emerald shadows of the jungle canopy. Broad leaves rustle as a creature leaps across the gap between two towering mahogany trees. A monkey swings from a long, sturdy vine, its grip sure and rhythmic as it navigates the tangled heights. In its steady grasp, it carries a woven basket that hums with a soft, internal light. Glowing letters spill over the rim, an I, a J, a K, an L, and an M, each one pulsating like a tiny trapped star. The monkey leaps again, the vine stretching under its weight before snapping back with a sharp, whip-like crack. It lands on a thick branch, pausing to let the letters drift in the air, casting long, dancing shadows against the dark wood. The atmosphere shifts, turning from the grounded pace of the meadow into a realm of vertical wonder. Every movement is a calculated reach toward the canopy's hidden secrets. The letters swirl in the humid air, trailing faint sparks that illuminate the deep green foliage. It is a world of discovery, where the act of swinging from a vine becomes a hunt for knowledge. The monkey chitters, clutching the basket tight, and disappears into the verdant depths, leaving a trail of shimmering light to guide the way forward. The jungle canopy fades, replaced by a clearing alive with movement. A scoop of strawberry ice cream balances precariously on a cone, slowly melting in the warm sun. Nearby, a bowl of bright purple jelly sits on a flat stone, trembling with every tiny vibration of the earth. It wobbles rhythmically, catching the light in its translucent curves. Suddenly, a gust of wind rushes through the clearing, pulling a colorful kite upward. The string snaps taut, vibrating with the force of the breeze as the kite dances in wide, sweeping arcs against the blue sky. The atmosphere shifts again. A low rumble builds from the edge of the tall grass, growing until it shakes the ground beneath the jelly bowl. A lion steps into the light, its chest expanding as it lets out a thunderous roar that echoes across the meadow. The sound is physical, a deep vibration that seems to rattle the air itself. Children in the clearing turn toward the sound, their faces brightening with sudden excitement. They clap their hands, their eyes tracking the kite and the lion with equal wonder. The clearing is no longer just a space. It is a stage where the senses collide. Every movement, from the trembling jelly to the soaring kite, builds a rhythm of pure, unadulterated joy that pulls the observers into the heart of the action. The air itself begins to shimmer as the sky above the clearing undergoes a sudden, radical transformation. Clouds pull back to reveal a vast, iridescent rainbow that arches across the horizon, casting a soft glow over everything below. Tiny, brilliant stars begin to blink into existence, pulsing with a steady, rhythmic light, even while the sun remains bright. In the center of this newfound wonder, a panda sits comfortably on a patch of moss. It picks up a fresh bamboo stick, snaps the stalk with a sharp, clean sound, and begins to crunch the fibers with focused intensity. The environment feels elevated, as if the very laws of the world have shifted into a fairy tale. High above the forest floor, a seed rises from the earth, solid and commanding. A figure sits upon this elevated perch, observing the clearing with a calm, steady gaze. They raise a hand, waving slowly toward the onlookers, a gesture that seems to command the magical atmosphere. The stars above align, creating patterns that drift slowly across the blue expanse. Everything is quiet, yet charged with potential. The panda continues its meal, indifferent to the grandeur, while the figure on the throne remains a silent guardian of this strange, shimmering realm. The learners watch, transfixed, as the boundaries between reality and imagination dissolve into a tapestry of light and wonder. The shimmering magic of the sky fades as the perspective plunges deep into the cool, dark currents of the ocean. On the soft, sandy floor, an octopus emerges from the shadow of a rock. It spreads 8 tentacles wide, each one undulating in the current like ribbons of velvet. The suction cups pulse against the seafloor, leaving faint, circular imprints in the silt as it navigates the terrain. It coils, extends, and retracts with fluid precision, turning the seabed into a dance of motion. The scene shifts instantly, rising from the crushing depths to the thin, crisp air of the highest treetops. Here, nestled within a thicket of woven twigs, a small bird sits motionless. It grips the branch with sharp, hooked claws, its head tilted to catch the faint rustle of leaves. The contrast is sharp. Below, the ocean floor is a constant, shifting rhythm of waves and movement. Above, the nest is a sanctuary of absolute stillness and focus. The bird takes flight for a fraction of a second, wings snapping open to adjust its balance, then settles back down into the safety of the nest. It watches the forest below, a silent observer in the high branches. The rhythm of the world slows, balancing the heavy, liquid energy of the deep with the light, airy tension of the heights. The stillness of the high branches vanishes in a heartbeat. A low, guttural growl vibrates through the ground, turning the leaves on the forest floor into a dancing blur. From the dense foliage, a tiger erupts, Its muscles bunch and fire with every stride, driving it forward at a relentless pace. The impact of its paws against the earth is heavy, rhythmic, and constant. Suddenly, the air behind it begins to hum. A trail of colorful, glowing letters manifests in the wake of the tiger, stretching out like a ribbon of light. They do not just follow, they chase. The letters dart through the gaps between trees, swirling and dipping as they track the animal. The tiger senses the pursuit. It accelerates, head low, clearing a fallen log with a clean, powerful leap that leaves the ground behind for a brief, weightless second. It lands on the other side, claws digging into the dirt to maintain its momentum, and pushes off again. The letters weave through the branches, picking up speed, glowing brighter with every passing moment. The forest becomes a track of blurred green and neon flashes. The chase is frantic, a surge of pure, kinetic energy that forces the world to keep up. Every bound pushes the tiger further, while the letters close the distance, creating a high-stakes race that vibrates with anticipation for what comes next. The forest chase dissolves into a wall of deep blue water. A massive whale surges upward, breaking the surface with a thunderous roar of displaced ocean. It clears the waves, its body arching against the horizon before crashing back down in a spray of white foam. From the center of the splash, thousands of translucent bubbles spiral into the sky. They catch the light, hovering in the air to solidify into perfectly formed, shimmering letters. The sound of a single violin cuts through the roar of the surf. It begins with a sharp, high-pitched note that mirrors the arc of the whale, then flows into a rapid, melodic sequence. Every bow stroke on the strings resonates with the movement of the bubbles. The violin plays faster, the tempo climbing as more letters emerge from the mist, drifting higher into the air. The whale breaches again, its tail slapping the water to send a new wave of bubbles upward. The music intensifies, a layered harmony that fills the entire space. It is a spectacle of massive scale and delicate sound, where the raw power of the sea meets the precision of the music. The water continues to churn, the violin sings, and the sky fills with drifting, glowing symbols. The atmosphere hums with a final, overwhelming sense of wonder. The majestic ocean spray fades, replaced by the rhythmic beat of hooves against the ground. A zebra with striking black and white stripes trots into the heart of the frame, moving with a steady, confident gait. It stops at the center, head held high, signaling the end of the long trek through the alphabet. The scene snaps clear. A group of children stands in a bright, open space. They begin to clap, their hands moving in perfect unison, the sound sharp and rhythmic. The narrator speaks, voice booming with pride. "You did it, super learners!" The energy in the room spikes instantly. The children stop clapping, toss their hands into the air, and launch into a collective, thunderous shout of "Yay! Yay!" They jump, feet leaving the floor, bodies twisting in pure, unbridled excitement. The air vibrates with the sound of their triumph. One boy claps his hands over his head, spinning in a circle, while a girl beside him beams, jumping repeatedly. They move as one, a singular force of joy and hard-won success. Every face shows the glow of a task mastered. The victory is total, the atmosphere thick with the sound of laughter and cheering that echoes long after the initial shout. They have reached the peak of their effort, and they own the moment completely. The golden light of the setting sun spills across the field, bathing the children in a soft orange glow. The cheering dies down into a gentle hum of contentment. As the sky deepens into shades of amber and violet, The alphabet letters drift upward from the ground, floating into the air like weightless balloons. They bob and sway, caught in the evening breeze, slowly vanishing into the clouds. The children turn toward the camera, their faces bright, and begin to wave. Their hands move in a rhythmic, slow-motion goodbye. A melody rises in the air, sweet and clear. The song rings out, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Learning letters joyfully, every note feels like a warm embrace. The children sway to the rhythm, still waving, their movements steady and calm. The letters in the sky twinkle one last time before the light fades. The music reaches its final, lingering chord, hanging in the quiet air for a heartbeat. The screen darkens, the edges closing in as the children shout a final cheerful, "Bye!" The last bit of color vanishes, leaving only the soft echo of laughter before the frame turns completely black.